this is Halloween Haunt here, and today I am doing another Flashback Friday review on an old animatronic, which is the Spirit Halloween 2014 Coat Rack Monster. I'll be rating him under 5 different categories and telling you guys how I really feel about this animatronic. For animation, Coat Rack Monster pops his head up along with his arms, and while that is a pretty simple animation, there's nothing really else to it. It does fit the character perfectly because he's supposed to be a Coat Rack monster, hence that he's a Coat Rack, so I think the animation for this is fine, and when it's not activated, it actually looks like a regular Coat Rack, so I think it's a totally fine animation for what it is. For price, in my opinion, I don't think the Coat Rack monster is actually like perfect. For what he's worth, he's $139.99 or $140. So I mean, it's not the worst price. It's actually not that bad, but it could have been like cheaper a little bit. But honestly, I'm not complaining too much. I paid $140 back then, and honestly, nowadays I think people would still too. I mean, back then it wasn't that terribly priced, so I would probably still say it's kind of worth it. Again, not the best price ever, but definitely one I think that is still not that bad when you think about Spirit's pricing from the previous years. For scare factor, it kind of goes back to the animation. Coat Rack Monster's main kind of scare is animation. When he's not activated, he kind of looks like just like a regular Coat Rack, nothing really Halloween-y or scary about it. But then when you activate it or you somehow set it off, it pops up really fast, showing a really creepy face, and his arms are also like lunged out, and his hat, his head is also folded up, and I do think it's a pretty good jump scare. I mean, using the right spot, it's definitely going to scare people, and just the way it could be positioned in a haunted house or a display, it could be really effective. So I do think here jump scare is really nice. It's pretty loud too, so it will definitely catch someone or startle someone if it is activated. So I definitely do think here that scare factor was successful. For detail, I mean, Coat Rack Monster does not really have this. For his kind of body, he just has a bunch of clothing fabric, hats. He's got one big long pole in the middle, and then a black covering on the base to block off anything that makes it look like an animatronic. So nothing really here is detailed. His face is probably the only thing kind of detailed. I mean, the faces look really cool and just popped out. It's got really cool teeth and eyes, and I do think that's that detailed part about it. But besides that, he's very simple, and I don't think it's bad for him because he's kind of supposed to be just this Coat Rack. Coat Racks don't really have a lot of detail either, so I don't really think it's bad here for this prop. But if you want to get a prop that's detailed, that's probably not one for you to even consider, because Coat Rack Monster is not detailed at all. He's just kind of simple but good. So overall, I don't think here that I would really take anything off for detail, but if you are looking for a detailed prop, this is probably not the one for you. For quality, Coat Rack Monster does lack this a lot because this prop was made in 2014 by Techie Toys, now known as Techie Design, but 2014 for Techie was one of their best years for animatronics, but definitely one of their worst for quality. I mean, most of the props that year fell apart or were just snapped or broke, and Coat Rack Monster is probably one of them that did break a lot. I mean, he wasn't the worst quality prop this year, and I don't think he was one of the worst ever, but he did have, I've definitely seen a handful that have broken. I mean, I've seen some that have like a delayed pop-up motion, or with mine, the pole, since it only has one pole in the middle, the base eventually got too weak, and the screws in it just fell apart and fell over, and the whole prop kind of fell apart, and I did have to re-screw his base in and give him the screws and fix the base and stuff. So definitely a prop that kind of lacks this. I mean, not the worst prop ever, again, not for quality. It's can last a lot, like mine has lasted in terms of the animation, so it works perfectly. So clearly it's not the worst quality prop ever, but overall it could be better. And if you do want this card to last longer for animation, I would always recommend to leave this pop-up motion in the up position where it's already popped up, because that's how the springs last longer in the animation. So overall here, quality isn't the best, but it's not the worst. It could be a lot better, but it's still not the worst. So yeah, that's all I have to say really for quality. That is my overall review on the Spirit Halloween 2014 Korak Monster. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe to Halloween Haunter and my other social medias for more Halloween news. And let me know down below what other old animatronics you would like to see. I'll see you guys later, and goodbye.